Psalm 7 is a powerful expression of the psalmist's unwavering trust in God's justice. The psalm opens with a heartfelt request for God to rescue the psalmist from his enemies, who are depicted as unjustly attacking him. As the psalmist continues to pour out his soul to God, he humbly acknowledges his dependence on God's protection and guidance. Despite facing unjust persecution from his enemies, the psalmist remains resolute in his belief that God will ultimately bring about justice and forgiveness. The psalmist's cry for protection goes beyond a mere request for personal safety. It is a bold promise of his steadfast trust in God's righteousness. Through his words, the psalmist serves as a shining example of faith and reliance on God in the midst of adversity. His unwavering faith in God's righteousness shines through the entire passage, as he implores God to judge him according to his own righteousness. Today, we will be exploring Psalm 7, a powerful prayer that invokes God's justice and protection against the enemies of the righteous. Come with us as we delve into the deep significance of these timeless verses and uncover how they continue to hold relevance in our lives today. Please make sure to watch this video until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends and family to show your love and support. In Psalm 7, we witness a powerful expression of faith and trust in God's justice, even in the face of unjust persecution. The psalmist's words serve as a reminder to all believers of the importance of placing our trust in God, no matter the circumstances we may face. The psalm opens with a heartfelt prayer to God for refuge and protection. The psalmist recognizes God as their shield and defender during times of trouble, setting the tone for the entire passage. Throughout the psalm, we witness the unwavering faith of the psalmist in the power and righteousness of God. As the psalm progresses, the psalmist conveys their confidence in God's ability to bring about justice and righteousness. They take comfort in the belief that God will ultimately conquer evil and provide redemption for those who seek Him. This steadfast faith in God's sovereignty and goodness acts as a source of strength and hope for the psalmist as they navigate life's challenges. The imagery of God as a shield creates a feeling of safety and security, serving as a reminder that we are never alone in our struggles. This powerful depiction reinforces the idea that God is always present to protect and guide us through difficult times. As the psalm progresses, we see the psalmist asking God to vindicate them against their enemies. The language here is strong and impassioned, as the psalmist pleads with God to deliver justice on their behalf. As the psalmist continues to pour out their soul to God, we are reminded of the unfiltered honesty and vulnerability that accompanies the pursuit of justice and righteousness. The prayer for defense against enemies reflects a universal yearning for truth and equity in a world rife with challenges and hurdles. Through the psalmist's point of view, we are urged to maintain hope and have faith in God's ultimate justice, even in the midst of adversity. This deeply resonates with us, as we all experience moments when we grapple with the burden of injustice in our lives. The psalmist's cry for justice echoes our own longing for righteousness and fairness in a world that often seems unjust. The psalmist passionately proclaims their innocence before God, actively declaring that they have committed no wrong to warrant the persecution they are currently enduring. This bold assertion serves as a touching reminder that God is able to discern the truth within our hearts, even in the face of false accusations from others. As we meditate on the psalmist's plea for justice and righteousness, we are prompted to reflect on our own yearning for a world where truth prevails and justice is upheld. The psalmist's cry resonates with our own frustrations regarding the injustices prevalent in our society, compelling us to take action in pursuit of justice and righteousness within our own lives and communities. It serves as a touching reminder that God's justice is not passive, but rather active and equitable, instilling hope in His ultimate judgment. This sentiment speaks to the solace and assurance we find in God's judgment, knowing that He will always perceive us for who we truly are. The psalm takes a dramatic turn as the psalmist invokes God's righteous anger to descend upon the wicked. This section is crowded with vivid imagery of God's anger and judgment, portraying a deity who will not passively watch evil unfold. As the psalmist delves deeper into God's judgment, it becomes evident that His righteousness offers peace to the virtuous while fixing fear in the hearts of the evil. The striking imagery employed to depict God's wrath acts as a touching reminder that justice will prevail and wrongdoers will not evade punishment. It's super important to be a good person and own up to your mistakes. If you do something wrong, you gotta make it right. Remember, God sees everything and will hold you accountable for your actions. So, think twice before doing anything bad because you have to deal with the consequences later on. Throughout the psalm, we see a contrast between the fate of the righteous and the wicked. The psalmist emphasizes that God will ultimately judge each according to their deeds, rewarding the righteous and punishing the wicked. As the psalmist reflects on the consequences of one's actions, they are reminded of the importance of living a righteous life. The reminder of God's judgment serves as a call to action for all to strive towards goodness and avoid causing harm to others. It is a powerful message that encourages us to seek justice and righteousness in all aspects of our lives. This message of accountability and justice is one that resonates deeply with us, as we long for a world where good is rewarded and evil is punished. As the psalm draws to a close, we see the psalmist praising God for His righteousness and justice. They express their faith and trust in God's ability to deliver them from their enemies and bring about justice in the world. As we reflect on the words of the psalmist, we are reminded of the importance of holding on to faith and trust in God, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. The message of accountability and justice serves as a beacon of hope in a world that often feels chaotic and unjust. Through our belief in God's righteousness, we find strength and courage to persevere in the face of adversity. This message of hope and trust in God's sovereignty is a powerful reminder that we can always turn to God in times of trouble and uncertainty. Psalm 7 is a powerful reminder of God's justice and righteousness in a world filled with injustice and evil. The psalmist's cry for justice speaks to our own longing for fairness and accountability in our lives. As we reflect on the words of Psalm 7, we are reminded of the importance of seeking justice and righteousness in our own actions and decisions. Just as the psalmist calls out for God's intervention in the face of injustice, we too must strive to stand up for what is right and just in our own lives. By following the example set forth in this powerful psalm, we can work towards creating a more just and righteous world for all. As we reflect on these ancient words, may we be inspired to trust in God's judgment and seek His protection in times of trouble. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Psalm 7. May God's justice reign in our hearts and in the world around us. We hope that you have been inspired and encouraged and inspired by the timeless truths found in Psalm 7. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so leave a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. Stay connected with us as we explore more of the beauty and power of God's Word. May His peace and blessings continue to surround you always.